You just got to have a mission, right? Yeah, you got to have a mission in your life. So you can't really control the fluctuations in the market. You can control your reactions to them. So in this particular case, my view on Bitcoin is the reason to do it is because it represents freedom and sovereignty, truth, integrity, and hope for the world. And that being the case, it's going to outlast all of us. So, you know, I'm kind of thinking that Bitcoin goes on long after MicroStrategy's gone, and MicroStrategy, the company, probably goes on long after I'm gone. And, you know, my view is if we're remembered for advocating and accelerating the adoption of Bitcoin throughout the world, then that will have been success, and I don't really need anything else. You know, I think one of the great things about MIT is that it teaches you to think, and also it teaches you to start from first principles. And the combination of that and aeronautical engineering, where you have to literally, you have to build a machine that will fly through the air or through space by combining, you know, all manner of engineering. I think that makes you confident. My first memory of MIT was the materials engineering professor. He walks out and he says, here's a tile that just burned off the space shuttle, and NASA doesn't know why it burned off, and we don't know how to fix it. What do you think? And it was 18-year-old kids, and we're all 500 of us, we're sitting in a room, and a guy who's a consultant for NASA looks at us and he says, you know, NASA doesn't know the solution, but what is the solution? Everybody looks at each other, and you can see, first we're all like, well, did I miss the reading? Like, like, was this in a reading? And then you're like, and then you have this dawning, horrifying observation that the answer to this question is not in any book written in the history of the world. And the guy that had NASA with the original problem sent it to a professor who knows more than you know, who's telling you he doesn't know the answer, but he's asking you. And so first you're thinking, I didn't read the reading. And then second, you're like scared. And then some kid in the front row raises his hand and says, well, you know, have you thought about changing, you know, the lamination on the composites? And everybody else looks and they're like, the professor's going to call the kid an idiot, right? And we're all afraid. And he goes, no, that's a good idea. That's what I thought too. And we tried that, but that didn't work. And then we all go. And then the next kid, you know, raises the hand. And then you think, I guess they actually expect us to think for ourselves. And that was how MIT started. And it just continued along that line. And so, if anything, when I left school, when I left MIT, my thought was, you have to work excessively hard. Don't be afraid of hard work, but you can solve the problem. And that's what they do here. Let's talk about Bitcoin. Actually, I want to talk about abundance, Pete. I have one observation, which is the whole essence of Bitcoin is about creating perfect money and the discovery of what we call digital scarcity as a digital scarcity as a commodity basis for sound money. And another one of the tropes in the community is when money is abundant, everything else is scarce. And when money is scarce, everything else in the society is abundant. If you go to Zimbabwe, or you go to Venezuela, or you go to any country going through hyperinflation, when they print the currency collapses. As the currency collapses, everyone in the economy doesn't want to take the currency anymore, and you get ripped back to Stone Age barter. And so, like in Nigeria this week, the Naira went from 400 to the dollar to 1,600 to the dollar. Wow. So in an economy where the currency, I mean, that's a 75% currency debasement in a week. When that happens, and I see you in Nigeria and I want to buy your house, you know, next year, well, the issue is, well, with what? And what will it be worth next year? You'll buy it today or you won't buy it at all. How do I sign a 12-month contract if the money's going to be worthless in 9 months? So there are no term contracts. How do I trade with you if you have to trade with someone else and the supply chain is 18 months long, right? when the currency unwinds and the assets unwind, the supply chains break. When the supply
All right, y'all, we are live on this beautiful Sunday afternoon. God bless everybody in the name of Jesus, Yeshua the Messiah. Even if you're not religious, I still pray you and your family are super blessed as we have just entered into a $4 million position here. Definitely not demo trading. As you can tell by the text on the screen, And I don't know if you guys knew this or not, but the way you can tell if something's true or not in life is by whether or not you see it on a screen. If you see it on a screen, it's definitely true. And shout out to everybody in the chat. Let's see who we got up in here. Major shout out to Byron Miller. All right. Wednesday is tariff day. A great day to be entering into a 100x leverage $4 million position here. Yeah, we're only risking $41,000 on the trade. But anyway, got to give a major shout out to DD here. And major shout out to Pope J Dollar. Shout out to Fit Genius 618. Shout out to Overcome. Hey, Bitcoin, is this the moon? When you get in here, dude. Shout out to Juju. Shout out to Kickin' Wig. Shout out to Uber Splice God. Run it up, fam. Let's go. Let's go. Shout out to DJ. Happy Sunday. Shout out to Fit Genius 618. Shout out to the Viper 175. Shout out to Arpod Skezgi. Why did I take a long? Why not, man? You know, why not? All right, let's see. Who else we got in here? Shout out to Bitcoin Advisors. He says, bro, love the show and praise to the Lord. Praise to the Lord. Praise Jesus. Praise God. God is so good. I'm so thankful. I'm so blessed that I have a relationship with my creator. Shout out to Harry Williams who says, yo. Shout out to Felix H. Shout out to In Code We Trust. 100x leverage. $4 million position, baby. Here we go. Man, we're already up. We're already in the green. Once again, this is definitely not demo trading, okay? As can be seen clearly from the text on the screen here, right? Okay. All right, man. So Bitcoin, guys, we are at a very intense position right now. And as always, if we can get 1,000 likes, just 1,000 likes in the first half hour, we will be giving away 1,000 USDT. So let me go ahead, actually, and set a little timer here for our half hour. And yeah, I would love to give away 1,000 USDT today, guys. All right. Shout out to Brandon Keys. Shout out to Wilker Olympio. Shout out to Darren. Shout out to Alex. Says 100x levers. I'm crazy. JJ McD says should have been 400x. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Should have been 400x. Yeah. All right. Big T says go long, man. We're long. We're up. We're already up $3,000 here, US dollars here. Look at this juicy 100x leverage trade. We only need a 1.85% stop loss for our 100x leverage trade. You know what I mean? Shout out to T-Bait. He says, shout out to you, man. Shout out to you, T-Bait. Shout out to Justin Jordan. He says, beg harder. Please! The beggars are coming in to beg for what? To beg for the giveaway? I'm going to beg you guys, please! Like the video, please! Alright? So we can give away $1,000. Alright? Shout out to Justin Jordan. Shout out to 4-Star Strength. LOL, is Jason drunk? Man, I am not drunk. Alright? I'm drunk on the candles, I'll tell you that much. Gordon says I'm about to get wrecked. Alright, well let's take a little poll here in the chat. Is Jason Casper about to get wrecked? Is my well, first of all, most of you guys think that this week is going to be bullish. So I asked April, bullish or bearish? 60% say bullish. So I'm hoping you're right. And let's go ahead and start with another poll here. Is my 100x $4 million trade going to get liquidated? Question mark. Let's see what you guys have to say. When am I gonna get me the Run Servers Olympic lifting coaching in exchange for membership? Man, I can't do Olympic lifting. Are you crazy, man? My body's not built that way. I'll go straight to Snap City, man. I'll clean and jerk my way right to the dang emergency room. Uh-oh, we're in the red. Ah! All right. We got to give major shout to everybody in the chat, guys. And yeah, as usual, get 1,000 likes in the first half hour. We'll give away 1,000 USDT. Also, guys, if you want to trade Bitcoin and altcoins, MEXC, definitely the best deal on fees. You can see 0% limit order, 0.02% market order. It's actually a really, really good deal on fees if you can KYC, link in the description. Also, guys, I'm currently trading on WEEX. All right, WEEX is also very low fees that does not require KYC. In addition to that, BLOFIN is currently offering... What is BLOFIN offering? 10% cashback, $1,000 future bonus if you're interested in all that. Also, if you want to join the Casper Crew VIP Discord, you can go to jasoncaspertrading.com. All right, let's get right into this, guys. As you can see, Bitcoin right now is breaking down from this channel. All right, and we were looking at this thing last week saying, could it be a bearish rising wedge? And a lot of people are saying, yes, it's a bearish rising wedge. As you can see, we have broken down from it, and we are heading down to a very, very important area of support. Now, as you know, a few weeks ago, we also did get a bounce from the danger zone. And so the question right now really is this. If this is the low, are we going to make a higher low somewhere and continue up? Or are we going to take the low? All right? That's pretty much what we're going to be looking at today as we head into the month of April, because tomorrow night will be the monthly close. And so I want to take a look at the monthly candle as we are kind of heading towards that monthly close. It's definitely not, this is a time to be serious and definitely not a time to be joking around, right? This is not a time to be high leverage, longing 100x, $4 million positions over here on MEXC. Okay, got to give a major shout to our super chat. Short from 87.2, TP 81K or 76K. Well, look, I'm a big proponent of taking partial profits, right? I say take a partial profit. 81K is definitely a good target. And, you know, if I was... You're short from 82. No, you're short from 87. Man, you're in a good position. Okay, so you're short from 87. I would have definitely hit a TP1 right here, to be honest with you. Down here, this is a good target, number one. Yeah, we're kind of front-running that golden pocket support. But, yeah, I would say it's definitely a good TP1, that's for sure. But we are getting a little bit of a pump here because we're bouncing from a 786. But, yeah, let's pop on over to the Bitcoin chart here. And let's get right into it. Boom. All right. People think I'm drunk. Guys, I'm not drunk, man. I don't drink. Well, I shouldn't say I don't drink, but I don't get drunk. Okay? Get out of the trade, man, says Henning Carlson. Well, let's see what you guys say here in the poll real quick. Is my trade going to get liquidated? 55% say yes. 45% say no. Shout out to Crypto Scarface for the super chat. 82K is a strong level. We're bullish, y'all. 82K is a strong level. All right. So, right now, let's take a quick look at the monthly time frame as we're heading into the monthly close. And let's take a look here. So far, the March candle is in my opinion, a bit of a bearish doji. We've got the confirmed February red dot. All right. Check out our 2 months. We've got a red dot that will confirm in a month. All right, in a month. We do have a slightly confirmed bearish divergence on the monthly. And looks like we got a little bit more downside. Let's check out our 2 week, our 1 week. Even our 1 week looks like we could have more downside here, guys, to be honest with you. All right. So our monthly close is going to be nothing too bearish, honestly. Nothing bullish. Seems like it's just going to be a doji. We got 1 day and 7 hours left before this monthly candle closes. Now, again, for me, right now, I have to say, and I've been saying it since February, that I'm still going to run with the idea that the general bottom is in, but the specific bottom may not be in. And as long as we're not closing candles below this old range high, which is like $73,000, give or take, right? Let's just call it like 70K, just to round it out. As long as we're not closing candles back inside our previous range here, I'm going to have to remain bullish on Bitcoin. And the reason why is because so far the pattern is simply that we range and then break out. Right? So we had our range, and then we broke out. And every time we form a range, and then we break out, we never come back into that previous range, right? We never do. Sometimes we tap it, like in this instance, we ranged and then we ranged and we tapped the previous range, but we never came back inside. All right, so even here right now, this January range, right? You can see that in January 2024, we had the range. We came back and we tapped it, like literally to the dollar. We tapped it with a wick, but we didn't close the candle inside. So right now, I'm still going to have to remain bullish and say the trend is still my friend until the end. And the trend right now, the pattern we're seeing here, is these ranges, they do not come back down into that previous range, right? Breakout range, breakout range, breakout range, breakout range, breakout range. What's going to happen? Well, this means there is still a chance now that we could see this low taken, our $76,500 low, come and get a bounce from this major support resistance flip right here at around 70K and still be in the bullish trend. All right. Now there's also a chance that our low right here is in. And if our low is in, let's take a look at this. We're going to go ahead and take our Fibonacci from the low to the high. And you can see that we are coming down right now to a very key zone of support, which is going to be that Fibonacci golden pocket retest. And really we have to say, the way I like to do it is between the 618 fib and the 786, right? That's really where I am looking right now for a potential higher low to come in. So my thesis right now is taking for granted that this is the low, which we don't know for sure, but if this is the low and we're looking for a higher low, then we would want to see the bounce from this box. And then we would expect us to get a move up to, in my opinion, around $97,000, because $97,000 is not only just our next obvious level here based on the support that we formed at 90, right around that $97,000 level, like right here, but it's also our high volume node. We go ahead and we take a look at all the volume that's traded here. You can see that's going to be our next obvious area of resistance, right? So if we are going to hold a higher low, we really don't want to see this box lost. This box is going to be 90, I'm going to call it 79 to 81,000. 79 to 81,000. It's going to be a very, very key level. All right, we could even extend the box down a little bit to this, right? Because a lot of times we will see this pattern where the price makes an initial low, right? And everybody thinks the low is in. And in this instance, I personally did think the low is in based on our very powerful close back up above the value area low. But then what happens is the price comes down and we get a stop hunt of that initial low. And then we come and we get a back test of that first level that we made here, right? And other people would call this, you know, an inverted head and shoulders pattern, right? Which it basically would be. But we have that nice wick, that first low. We take the low and then we make that third low, that third tap, giving us now a higher low, and we can look for a long from that area. So right now, I'd say when the week opens, this is going to be a real intense make it or break it zone, man. And if we're not going to hold, then I expect this low to be taken again. Which means I would also have to say it's most probable that we do see Bitcoin come and test some of these lower levels in the low 70s. Because we do have to acknowledge the fact that although I am a Bitcoin bull, don't get me wrong, the monthly is giving us a bearish divergence. The 2-week bearish divergence, and I'm looking at the 2-week, I'm looking at the weekly here, there's still more room for downside. This VWAP, we had a chance. We had a chance last week to, we had a chance earlier this week, I suppose, which was last week, when Bitcoin was like $88,000 back on last week, which is still the same weekly candle because the weekly candle is going to close in 6 hours. We had a chance to print this green dot in the weekly. But we didn't do it, right? Even on our 12-day, even on our 2-day, we had a chance to have this momentum continue above the zero line, but we didn't do it, right? Let's pop back down to our daily time frame. So the bullish scenario and the bullish case will still need to be the same as it's been, which is this. We had a bullish divergence down here at this low, where the price made a lower low, momentum made a higher low, giving us that juicy bullish divergence. And now we're looking for a higher low here with a trigger wave on the daily time frame. We want to see this yellow oscillator really start to curve back up to the zero line. We want to see a green dot printing here. That could be our signal for a higher low coming in later this week if we get another drop to the downside. And if we don't see that, this coming week could be very brutal for Bitcoin. And I'm not trying to be scary. I'm not trying to be Barry. But, you know, we lose this green box here. And we're going for the low again, in my opinion. We're going for the low again. And we're probably not just going to get a swing failure pattern. We're probably going to come lower than people want, in my opinion. Right? It's just my opinion. I could be wrong. I could be wrong, but that is my opinion. I would really be looking down toward the low 70s if this local green box here isn't going to hold. Doesn't mean I'm not going to be looking for long trades. All right, so, you know, just so you all know, if we do something like this and then, you know, all of a sudden I'm long, I'm going to be looking for long trades along the way. But I am definitely not expecting that if this box doesn't hold, that we're going to get a bounce from like here. I would expect that we come down to the low 70s. All right. That's just kind of my view on the chart. And yeah, it's pretty interesting to see the predictable breakdown of this rising wedge, because it is pretty predictable. It is just a bearish pattern here. And the actual technical target of a wedge pattern is to go to the beginning of that wedge, right? So we would expect our measured move to come back down to $76,000, right? Around that level. So that's where we're currently at with Bitcoin. And do I hope we bounce? Honestly, I don't really care what happens, to be totally honest with you guys. I just want to make sure that I'm in a trade if I see a good trade popping on in. So I do have to give a major shout out. Let's check out our oof. Our long trade, 100x leverage long, is not doing the best. But we do have a super chat here, and I have to give a major shout out. I see Dave Digital in the chat. Shout out to Dave Digital. And shout out to all our mods. All right. He says, like the stream for a chance to win an in-person foot massage from Jason Casper. Yes, that is true. And if by in-person foot massage you mean 1,000 USDT, then you are correct. Guys, we're 200 likes away from actually doing a $1,000 giveaway. That's crazy. We have 1,600 people in the house. Why am I in a 100x leverage $4 million position? It's definitely not demo trading. I don't know. Some people say I'm crazy. Look, you've been on the YouTubes long enough. It does something to your brain. It does something to your brain. Yeah, it just does something to your brain when you're streaming every day, you know, giving away thousands of dollars. Shout out to a Bush Bam Bam. That's true. Shout out to, he was a winner in the Casper Crew VIP Discord on Friday. He won $516 playing a game. That's cool. Yeah, Casper Crew. I'm pretty sure we're the only Discord in the world that does games with prizes. I could be wrong. I don't know. But guys, oh my goodness. This long trade is under the water, almost $5,000. This is crazy, man. This is crazy. Can we get the likes? We're so close, guys, to the likes. Oh my goodness. I think we can do it. Let's smash up the likes. Shout out to Divine Hood. Happy Sunday to you, man. Shout out to Rando. He says, I also think lower, but we're not owed it. Tell them this concept, Jason. Look, we're not owed anything in these markets, all right? These markets don't owe anything. Shout out to I Show You, all right? I Show You, he knows that this whole stream is pre-recorded and fake, and I'm just an AI. Shout out to DD. Dom says it makes no sense why I would take this trade. I agree, man. It makes no sense why I would take this trade. Shout out to Space. All right, Divine Hood says, bro, at this point, 80,000.7 is highly likely. Yeah, what is 80,007, Divine Hood? Let me check it out here. Let's pop on back over. All right, are we gonna get our likes, man? Come on, guys, 40 likes, 3 minutes. I think we can do a $1,000 giveaway. Let's pop on over to the chart here and see. What is that? 80,007. That's our golden pocket. Yeah, yeah. And not only is it our golden pocket, but it's also, if we're gonna look at this, it's also the value area low of the wedge. Okay, so yeah, I'd say it's most likely that we're coming back down to value area low range, and this is really where the make it or break it. You know, are we gonna make that high or low or not? Is gonna come in, right? So we're gonna see. What's also interesting is we do have a CME gap again. This time to the upside when the candle opens for the week. All right, we're doing a $1,000 giveaway, guys. We're doing a $1,000 giveaway, baby. Let's do it. It's our first one since I've taken a week off, man. Because we just haven't had the likes since I took a week off. Yeah, so we're going to have a CME gap once again coming in at 84K. All right. So whatever happens with this close, we're going to have a CME futures gap at 84K. 84K is going to be at our high volume of the range. So, you know, it's very, very possible that we see something like this happen, come to the value area low, get a bounce, reject from the back test of the POC, and maybe come down a little bit lower. But yeah, keep your eyes out for that CME gap that we're going to have right around 84,000, confluence with the POC of the range. Let's check out our demo. I mean, our not demo trade. It's not a demo trade. Man, what a Freudian slip. That was a legit Freudian slip right there, where I called it a demo trade. It's definitely not a demo trade. You can tell because it says it's not, right? Yeah, it's not. This is real. This is the real deal. All right, and let's see here. All right, guys, we're gonna do a $1,000 giveaway during this stream, for sure. What games were we playing in the Discord? Every month in the Casper Crew VIP Discord at JasonCasperTrading.com, where we give the trade setups in advance, like this actual real trade. That's not a demo trade, which I locked in 5K setup given in advance. From the exact bottom, all right? At JasonCasperTrading.com, we do games every single month where we just give away like thousands of dollars of prizes. And it's really fun. It's really fun. It's super fun. I think it's fun. And I'm sure everyone in the Casper crew thinks it's fun as well. All right? So, and you know, look, it's definitely, it's not a signals group, but I tell people what I'm doing, all right? I tell people what I'm doing. I told people I was taking a short. I told people I closed half my short. I told people I will take a long if we close above the level, right? We close above the level, taking the trades, all right? And even last week, I entered a long trade. Let everybody know, I just taken the long trade. And I also let everybody know, look, we've got ourselves a 2-to-1 risk reward. It's a good place to close the trade, all right, to make a respectable profit. I personally didn't close the trade. I let everyone know what I was doing. All right, obviously that trade did get stopped out in a loss for me because I didn't take my take profit at the resistance. I just let it ride over the weekend, and obviously we took a major dump, okay? Took a major dump over the weekend. Not a big deal. Not a big deal. A small loss. All right, a small loss. Actually, it was a $600 loss to be exact. It was a $600 loss to be exact. So, it happens, guys. You know? All right. let's check out our trade here. We're just negative $7,000. Oh my goodness. Dom says, I'm fooling people for joining the Discord for liquidity. Alright, well, anyone who's in the Casper Crew VIP Discord, let Dom know what you think about it. Do you think I'm tricking you into providing liquidity? Or do you think we're providing real value for people to actually learn how to do this? Let people know in the chat, alright? Let Dom know what you think, alright? Because I can't tell you, because obviously I'm biased, right? I might just be trying to trick you for liquidity. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Spaced. Shout out to Samuel Manuel. Good day to you. Where can you send a beat? You can send a beat, just the YouTube title here. Yeah, so shout out to everyone in the chat. We are going to be doing that $1,000 giveaway today. Right? We are going to be giving that $1,000 giveaway today. And the only hope that I really have here for this long trade that I'm currently in, guys, from the setup, all right? I mean, I don't know, man. If you can trust that this setup wasn't made for exit liquidity. I mean, if you can trust I didn't give this setup here for exit liquidity, all right? Telling everybody to long when really it was going to dump, right? But let's see here. My hope for this trade right now is that we come down to this box and get a bounce, right? And depending on what happens at this box, I actually might even add to the trade, honestly. I might actually add to the trade. Right now, I've got about $100,000 in the position. So I would like to add to it, because if we are going to bounce from there, man, I would love to ride this thing up with a fat position size, all right? An FPS, if anyone knows what an FPS is, an FPS. All right, let's take a look at some other things as well. We know we have the CME gap to the upside right here. Shout out to DJ Meat Missile. He says, Jason for sure tricking people to join totally for the bicep, tricep supersets and the squat rack. That is for sure, man. That is for sure. Really, I'm blocked in Mexico. That's so interesting. I only use a Mexican VPN. I love to live in Mexico. I love to live in Mexico. All right, well, here, let's check out some other stuff. All right, let's check out Ethereum here. Oof, Ethereum, man. Ethereum. So, last few days for ETH have been pretty brutal. ETH is coming back down pretty close to the low that we made over here on the 11th of March. And I do have to say this. Is there a chance that the low is in right now for ETH? Yeah, there's a chance. I would be looking for either maybe, well, if Bitcoin's going to hold a higher low, ETH might as well. But it really looks like ETH wants to take the low at 1743. And if she does that, look, this is a game of probabilities, right? So we have just closed and back tested below major resistance. All right, we're talking of support resistance flip that goes all the way back to February 2021. It was resistance all throughout the bear market, and then it was support all through the bull market. It's the macro Fibonacci golden pocket. It's the value area high of the bear market range. It's the clear low of the bull market range. And we've broken down, we back tested, and we're falling back down. I'd say the probabilities are that we come to the high volume node at around 1005, 1006. I'd say probabilities for ETH are that we come down a little bit lower. And we're not guaranteed for that to happen. But if it does happen, that's a very, very good looking level of support. Even if, like, let's just assume that the bear market's here. And I don't want to believe that because I still want to sell my spot ETH at much higher prices. Let's just assume for an example's sake that the bear market is in. I would be very surprised if we don't get some kind of bounce from here. Look at what happened when we came down to the value area high of that range. All right. We got a massive move to the upside of about 40%. All right. 40%. We come down to that level over here. We also got a very large move to the upside, about 40%. So it would be very shocking to me, even if, let's say, the bear market's here, that we don't get a big bounce from this level, big enough to make some serious money. I mean, even let's say we do get a little bounce and then we come back up to the highs of this local range and we start to range in here a little bit, right? And this is just a big bear flag that breaks down. Like, let's just assume, I'm not saying the bear market's here, but let's say the bear market is here, right? It would make sense to me that we would get a move from here enough to maybe range, take the highs, you know, whatever. And then eventually, if the bear market is here, continue down. I don't want that to be the case. I don't even think that's the case, but I'm just saying this is such a key level that if we're looking for trades, if we're looking for moves, this could give us another like 40% gain right here. And then of course we could look for shorts if you're feeling bearish like that. But I'd say probabilities are that it does come down to the $1,500, $1,600 zone for a significant bounce of, at the very least, a little bit of relief, or at the very most, the bottom being in, and then we finally see that one last big push for the next few months coming into all-time highs. Now, again, I'm kind of looking at two potential scenarios right here, just for crypto in general, all right? There's a EU warning. Core W says, this EU warning is crazy, but thank God for Christ and his word. Amen. Thank God for Christ and his word. It's the only thing I have to hang on to in this crazy world. But I don't know anything about what's going on in EU right now. I'm very isolated. I live under a rock in the mountains in the middle of nowhere. There's two kinds of ways I'm looking at this, right? Way number one is, and it has to happen quick, like we need to see some kind of very bullish move that brings us back above $90,000 for Bitcoin for this to happen, and it needs to happen in April, okay? But scenario number one is, yeah, our low is in, we make a higher low, and then boom, in the next few months, we're seeing everything at higher highs. Scenario number two is we have a bearish sideways summer, and then we have a bullish fall. Okay, if we have a bearish sideways summer, then I am actually potentially looking to see Bitcoin come down to the old range. The old range is this. All right. This is what we saw last bull market. As soon as I said that, look, I got thumbs downs because people don't want to hear it. But the reality is, last bull market, all right, Bitcoin had the range right here from January, December, January, February. Then we formed a range up here, okay? As soon as we lost this range, all right, the top range, we came back down and traded once again in the old range, okay? We traded in the old range. And you will notice assets do this. They have ranges, like for example, we had this range right here. Would you look at that? And what do you know? When we come back into that old range, the price will trade within that old range. That's just what assets do, right? So we need to be aware of that happening again over here, right? We had our old range. It was a 8-month range. We come back in. We do need to be prepared for a move back down towards the low of this old range here, which could take us into the 50s. A word that most people just can't handle. I understand that. Look, a lot of people couldn't handle Bitcoin being in the 70s. But here we are now, having touched the 70s. So don't ever take anything off the table. These are two bullish scenarios, in my opinion, because bullish scenario number one, that we actually do form our bottom here, you know, but it needs to happen quick. That's obviously going to be good for Bitcoin and all crypto and ETH. But if not, and we come back down into this zone here, well, this could be the last, you know, big move, big opportunity, I would say. Could be the last big opportunity if we're going to have a bearish summer and a bullish fall. And, of course, the third scenario is that the top is in. And I do not feel that the top is in. And I'm going to go by feelings here. But there's a number of reasons why I don't feel the top is in. I'd say the biggest reason for me is just the overall bearish sentiment that we've experienced here. I've never, and of course I've only been, this is only my third bull run in crypto. But the last two bull runs, the euphoria was so intense at the top of that bull market that nobody was saying this is the top, right? But I have not ever seen such bearish sentiment here where so many people are saying, yeah, the bull market's over, like this is it. So I think that's just one of the main things for me. Secondly, I just can't even fathom Ethereum, like just a fundamentally strong asset, not hitting new all-time highs. That is pretty crazy to me. Okay, so admittedly speaking, I'm giving you feeling analysis here, not really technical analysis, because I could give you a lot of reasons just based on the chart why the top could be in, right? Like we have 1 month confirmed bear divs and 2 week confirmed bear divs and all these bearish divergences and a potential change of market structure on the weekly time frame, right? But Bitcoin and crypto in general loves to just give us that one last move, right? Loves to give us the one last move. Especially Bitcoin. Bitcoin loves that one last move. I mean, look at this. June, right? Everything bottomed out in June, but Bitcoin gave us that one last move, right? Or even the last bear bull market, like the top of the bull market, right? We changed structure, but Bitcoin loves to give us that one last move. That one last move. That really wrecks a lot of people as well, the one last move. Let's check out Solana bouncing from the golden pocket. Man. So, I hope it doesn't happen, guys, but man, Sol is at a very, very key support right now, which, if lost, could take us down to around $75,000. And again, I know people hate when we talk about this kind of stuff. I'm not saying it's gonna happen. I'm saying if we lose this support, it's such a strong level that the highest probability is coming back down to this area. Why is that the highest probability? Because that's our resistance from 2021, our support from 2022. It's the last little shelf of resistance that we had before the breakout here in late 2023. We back tested it in early 2024. And down here, we literally just have a whole bunch of liquidity, aka stop losses. When you see market structure like this, where you have like a low and all these like slightly lower lows over here, these are just all a whole bunch of stop losses. And what could happen is a cascade of selling when you start to fall through here, right? Especially when people are in these markets on leverage. And then we just come back down to this beautiful support resistance flip. So I'm hoping that Sol does hold the bottom of this range here. And there is a chance, you know, like things don't have to be super, super bearish, even if we get another move to the downside here. Like if we get another move to the downside, we do have the liquidity down here at 109,000, aka $109, right? We could just come and take the lows of the range here and then get a move back in. And we would want to see some really nice bullish divergences happening here. You know, we do have a few things, and this is true for Solana and for pretty much Bitcoin, ETH, all across the board. Right now, our daily time frame has confirmed hidden bearish divergences here, right? Where the price is making lower highs, rejecting from key resistance, but the oscillator is making higher highs, right? You can think of this as the bulls giving it as hard of a push as they possibly can, right? They're pushing so hard. They're pushing this momentum wave up, up, up as hard as they can. But even though they're pushing it so high, the price isn't going high, right? So it's showing weakness. It's showing they're trying as hard as they can, but they're not actually able to push the price up, which means when this tops out, it's like climbing up a really high building and taking a rock and throwing it down from the top of that skyscraper as hard as you can, right? That's like a hidden bearish divergence. That's like a little imagery. I think Flop and Groper coined that imagery, right? But if that happens and we come down lower again, we have to also recognize that we could see like just a continuation of the money flow and the momentum coming up, which could actually lead to just a fake out and a reclaim. And this could be true for Bitcoin, it could be true for ETH, it could be true for all these assets. This is what we need to look for, because in my opinion, if I start to see that we are getting, let's say we're starting to see everything break down. You know, Jason Casper goes live, thumbnail, open mouth, red background, shows a big short position, you know, up tens of thousands of dollars, right? But then in the middle of the live stream, while we're all dumping, right, we come down here, we start to see the price lose the support, right? We're losing it. Oh no, it's officially breakdown. Emergency live stream, right? But then we're getting a move back up into here, right? I will have to change my bias from saying probabilities are to come down to this level to say, you know what? We just got a fake out. We have bullish divergences. And so now I'm going to have to say, I'm going to be looking for longs, right? If we see that happen, I'm going to be looking for longs. So we need to be able to react to what the charts are doing. And this doesn't just mean you long or short based on one big candle, right? You need an actual setup, right? You need a setup. You have your macro idea, right? Like, for example, let's say we do see a fake out like this. Am I just going to long here because I saw a fake out? Heck no, I'm not going to do that. Why? Because if I do that, I'm going to have to put my stop loss way down here with like a dang 28% stop loss. That's not something you do, right? You wait for an entry, right? So that day I'll come to the chart. The price will be maybe ranging a little bit in here. And then in the Casper crew, you know, I'm going to tell everybody, look, I'm looking for a local entry right here. We just got the reclaim. I'm looking for a local entry. My stop loss goes below here. And yeah, I'm going to shoot for the top of the range, right? Something like this. Like a really good risk to reward, you know? So the macro is going to guide your bias for looking for those more local trade setups. Because you got to have yourself a setup. If you don't have a setup, you could be right in your idea. But especially if you're leverage trading, you need to have a precise setup. Or you could just low leverage and spot everything, which is also totally acceptable. If you know what I'm saying. Wow, we got 1,800 people in the house. Shout out to Alex O. He says, let's go Sunday pump it for Jay. Let's check out our trade here. Wow, look at this, guys. We're up $3,000. Do we have Trader Geo in the house? Shout out to Trader Geo. I don't know if we have him in the house, but I saw someone mention him. What's my TP on this trade? This trade is probably a $250,000. All right, and we got some more super chats in the house. All right, major shout out to Alex O. He says, thanks for streaming, homie. Happy Sunday. God bless you and the family. God bless you, Alex O. And guys, make sure to go subscribe to Alex O. If you're not already subscribed, then you are definitely missing out. And man, you know what? I smashed my iPhone the other day. Totally smashed it. And I just this morning got a new iPhone. It's super fancy. Wow. This is the fanciest iPhone I've ever seen. This is fancy, man. This is getting to be some scary futuristic stuff. Shout out to Crypto Scarface. Most people think Bitcoin will go lower. 82 to 81 is a good demand zone. Using a 45-minute time frame, I am long in that level. Well, you know, I'm also looking to long that level, my friend. I think it's a really good place to long. Even though we're long right now, 100x leverage, $4 million position. Definitely not demo trading. It's definitely not demo trading, guys. Just so everyone knows. It says right here it's not demo trading, so you can trust it, you know. Shout out to Alex O. God bless you, my man. Sunshine Girl is still long. Hey, I'm still long too. All right. I really am still long. And our zone, 81K area, I'm looking to add. I'm looking to add to the trade. This 100x leverage long up $11,000 right now. $12,000. $4 million position, man. If only it was demo trading. You know. Shout out to Sniper Gagarin. Sniper Gagarin. All right. All right. Shout out to Dave Digital. All right, here we go, baby. Guys, we are going to be doing a giveaway today. Man, look at this pump, man. Look at this pump. This is nuts. Man, this is nuts. Building health while doing trading? Absolutely. You got to get those steps in, guys. Hey, you got to get those steps in. Honestly, getting the walking desk is one of the best things I think I've ever done. It's been such a game changer. Such a game changer. What speed is the treadmill? 2.8 miles per hour. We might need a pump song here. Let's see if we back test this. Are we going to back test this support resistance flip here? Inverted head and shoulders, back test. We might need a pump song right now. We might need an actual pump song. Should we do a pump song? Yes or no? What do you guys think? Yeah, let's check order flow as well. Shout out to Frankie Legend, always giving it to you straight. Let's see what order flow says here. It is a Sunday, so... Wow. People are longing, that's what's happening here. Let's go ahead and pop it open. So, we had a lot of shorts opening up into the VWAP, which, interestingly enough, those shorts definitely went out. And they're still open. They're still open, and longs are wrecked. So we had a few longs open up into VWAP, and then people shorted it like crazy. We got about 2.3 million shorts. And pretty much all those shorts are still open here, and we have even more shorts opening up now, which is interesting. Let's go to our 15-minute time frame. Let's get a nice zoomed out look here. Yeah, we didn't see any bullish CVD divergences in this zone here. We haven't really seen any bullish CVD divergences at all, really, throughout this entirety. And we really haven't seen bearish CVD divergences either, really. We saw a little bit of bearish CVD right here, which did give us our final drop. But other than that, nothing too crazy. Last time we saw major CVD bearish divergences was right up here, from around the $87,500 level. Which was the last short setup I gave in the Casper crew. And unfortunately, I didn't take that short trade because I just wasn't here. But you guys can't see that, can you? No, you can't see it because I have the wrong screen. What the heck? Jason, you fool. You fool. Wrong screen. Yeah, last bearish CVD divergence was right in here. Look at this. That's super, super bearish. Man. Yeah. Yeah, but nothing too crazy really happening right now. Alright? This is the loss from the trade I was in on Friday. This is my current short trade. Right now from 98K. Setup given in advance in the Casper crew. By the way, guys, WEEX. Best deal on fees, no KYC. BLOFIN, 10% cash back, $1,000 future bonus. Casper Crew, JasonCasperTrading.com. And MEXC. Those are my exchanges, if you're interested in signing up to any of those things. Whoa, Bitcoin's getting a little bit of a retrace here. Monthly close, baby. Yeah, that's going to be a very important monthly close, in my opinion. How do I always succeed at calling myself Jason? Well, J-Boy, you know, I was wondering that myself. It's because I've slipped, and you've heard me slip too, J-Boy Boys. You've heard me slip. People on the channel have heard me slip. Not call myself Jason, but you know, takes a little practice. You know, when I put on my Jason Casper uniform, the purple V-neck and the backwards hat, you know. Passive Freedom says it's a fake trade. No, it's not fake, bro. Look, it literally says right here, not demo trading. Okay? It's not demo trading, bro. Come on, man. You guys, come on. Everyone knows if it's on a screen, you know it's true. Right? Where have you been for the past 5 years? Actually, where have you been since, I guess, where have you been since the, what is it called? The Smith-Mundt Act was repealed. Where have you guys been since the Smith-Mundt Act was repealed by Obama, where it became absolutely illegal to use propaganda on U.S. citizens, man? Anything you see on a screen is absolutely true, especially if it has to do with numbers, all right? Especially if it has to do with numbers. If it's a poll or how many people are dying in the streets of a disease, it's always true, especially if it's on a screen, all right? Don't believe anything unless it's on a screen, actually. Go outside, everything looks okay. Turn on the screen, the world's falling apart. You know the one on the screen is true. Don't believe your own eyes. This is definitely not a demo trade, guys. All the experts agree, all the scientists say. What scientists? I don't know. I'm not going to tell you either, but they all agree, all right, that this is not a demo trade. Sheesh, man. Is my real name Billy? Maybe. Yeah, CryptoFace knows my real name. Yeah, see, In Code We Trust knows what's up. In Code We Trust knows what's up. Yeah, exactly. My real name is Jason, but it's spelled without the Y. That's for sure. That's for sure. Shout out to Dave Digital. Exactly, numbers can't be faked, Cooper. They can't be faked. Nothing can be faked, especially if you see it on TV or a computer screen. You know? All right, let's pop back over to some other assets. I do want to take a look. You know what's so interesting is gold. Gold. Man. Let's take a quick look at gold. Shout out to Dave Cooper. He says 69% of statistics are made up. I appreciate that very much, Dave Cooper. That's my kind of humor. Giveaway? Yeah, we're going to give away $1,000, all right? We're going to give away $1,000 during the stream. Look at gold, guys. Gold is at new all-time highs. $3,000 for gold. This is crazy, man. This is pretty crazy. Honestly, I have to say, this is actually bullish for Bitcoin, man. This is bullish for Bitcoin, because when gold pumps, that means there's weakness in the dollar. And in the long run, that is good for crypto. Well, I should say that's good for Bitcoin, right? If you're Fartcoin and you're this and that, that doesn't really matter. But for Bitcoin, that is bullish, all right? This is crazy. Look at gold, man. We got the big breakout, the psychological $2,500 level. We had this marked out on our chart for a very long time. Ever since we broke that level, we're saying a back test of this green box. This is the place to look to get in. Boom, baby. We're currently up from that box. Oh, man. 20%. Now, I know gold doesn't get the moves like crypto does, but man, I've been heavily invested in gold since 2014, so, you know, 158% on gold in 11 years. It's not so bad. Of course, if we're comparing it to Bitcoin, that is kind of bad. But you have to think of it. This literally means, all right, since 2014, that the value of the dollar has basically gone down like 150%. And when you look at the prices of stuff, that's absolutely true. I was just talking to my friend yesterday. He wants to buy a yacht after he retires, so he can go like live in basically like on the water, right, in a little floating house. And he said back a few years ago, he was looking at boats and the boats he was looking at were like $50,000. Now those same boats are like 120K. So yeah, the value of the dollar is going down, man. It's crazy. Trucks, new trucks. In 2018, I bought a new truck for $31,000. Brand new Ram 1500, $31,000, man. Now, I don't even know if you could buy a dang used truck for $31,000 that's worth anything. It's crazy, man. It's like these bottom of the line trucks are like $50,000. It's crazy. 50, 60. They're like double the price, man. It's crazy. But yeah, gold is pumping. Gold is pumping. Let's check out S&P 500. Okay, so man, this is the S&P 500 mini futures. We did get a bounce from our key level, the value area low of the range, and the Fibonacci golden pocket at 5,500. But so far, and we'll see what happens when we open in a few hours, we have seen a pretty, in my opinion, bearish rejection filling the gap and getting a back test of this. Honestly, I'm very curious to see how this week plays out. This coming week, for the stock market, for Bitcoin, it's either going to be dreadfully bearish, and this is just a harbinger of what's to come, or we kind of like just get a fake out of it being bearish. Because I'll be honest, this does not look bullish. The fact that this weekly candle came up, rejected perfectly from this area with a big wick and closing with a bearish engulfing candle after we got a little bit of a 2-week bounce does not look the best. All right, it really does not look the best. That's pretty nuts. Man, I wonder where our next major support is here on the S&P 500. Let's pull a fib from this last major swing low. You know, I'm going to go ahead and say it, but probably right around 5,000. It's going to be major support. 5,000, we have this low here. We have this low here. We have the support resistance flip here. We have this major support resistance flip going all the way back to January 2022. And then we have the Fibonacci golden pocket. That would be pretty crazy. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm just saying it's the next major support. Another 13% move to the downside. Man, that would be catastrophic. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that? We've already had like a 10% drop. Whew, that would be intense, man. That would be intense. If that happens, then we're most likely going to see Bitcoin get that scenario where the summer's super bearish, and then maybe the fall we see some bullishness again. But that would be pretty crazy, man. That would be pretty crazy. Man, is the bull market really over? Is the bull market over? That would be an overall 20% drop from all-time highs. That'd be pretty crazy. Man, you know what? If we do come down here, I'm going to long this thing. I'm going to long that thing. What time does gold open? I'm pretty sure gold opens in about 5 or 6 hours. Why did I long Bitcoin when I'm bearish on XPX? Well, just because I'm bearish on SPX doesn't necessarily mean I shouldn't long Bitcoin, right? Sometimes they don't trade together. So we'll have to see what happens. Gold is pumping. But I longed Bitcoin back on the 11th of March, right? Number file 7 says no more bull market. But Bitcoin's getting a little bit of a pump here. You know? All right. Well, you know what we have to do? We have to do a giveaway. We have to do a giveaway. We do have to do a giveaway, guys. We have to give away $1,000. So here's what we're going to do. We are going to pop on over to the YouTube chat. All right. Oh, how's Joe Biden? He's doing pretty good, man.
Now, let me be clear. I've been dead since 2019, and every time you've seen me on TV, it's either been a deep fake or a body double. But the science is settled. This is all Trump's fault.
Shout out to my man who named his chickens Jason Casper. That's what's up. Yeah, so we're going to come on over to the YouTube chat, and I want you guys just to spam your USDT address, all right? Just spam your USDT address. Spam your USDT address. And I'm going to count down from 10 and take a screenshot, and whoever's highlighted wins $1,000, all right? All right, you guys ready? You guys ready? Let me come over to X here. Let everybody know that I'm doing a $1,000 giveaway right now on YouTube. Just let everyone know, you know, and make sure to follow me on Twitter, guys. You know, Jason Casper, Jason_Casper. Follow me on Twitter. You know, I'm trying to get 25,000 followers. Is it possible, you think? I don't know. I don't know if it's possible. I don't know. Let's see. See if we can't get a few people to join. All right. Yeah, spam your address. We'll do the giveaway. All right. We'll do the giveaway. While we wait for some people to pop in here. I don't know. Should we do the pump song while we wait for some people to come in? Yeah, might as well. Might as well do the pump song while we're waiting for some people to come in here before we give away $1,000. Let's see. The pump song. Guaranteed to pump the price. Also guaranteed to make the viewers go down. So it's a good social experiment to see who's going to stay to win $1,000 through the pump song. Let's pump! Here we go. Yeah! Here we go, baby. We gonna dump? No, we're gonna pump! Look at this, we're pumping! We're gonna dump, no we're gonna pump. We're gonna dump, no we're gonna pump. We're gonna dump, no we're gonna pump. Pump the Bitcoin, baby, let's go. We're gonna dump, no we're gonna pump. We're gonna dump, no we're gonna pump. We're gonna dump, no we're gonna pump. Pump the Bitcoin, baby, let's go. Here we go, baby. We're pumping Bitcoin. We're about to do a $1,000 giveaway. Look at this crazy pump on Bitcoin. We're up $14,000, man. I can't even believe it. Alright, baby. Oh, man. Oh, man. You guys feeling what I'm feeling? I'm feeling it, guys. You feeling it? I got that feeling that you feel. When the trade's in the green. Where's the stop loss? There is no stop loss. 100x leverage bomb. $4 million position. Woo! Jason, calm down, man. They're gonna put you back in the institution. You don't want to go back there again, do you, Jason? Oh, man. We're gonna dump? I don't think so. I think we're gonna pump.
We're gonna dump, no we're gonna pump. We're gonna dump, no we're gonna pump. We're gonna dump, no we're gonna pump. Pump the Bitcoin, baby, let's go. We're gonna dump, no we're gonna pump. We're gonna dump, no we're gonna pump. We're gonna dump, no we're gonna pump. Pump the Bitcoin, baby, let's go. We're pumping Bitcoin, baby. Yeah, we're pumping Bitcoin, baby. Yeah, we get it down. Yeah, we get it pump. Yeah, we get it down. Yeah, we get it pump.
Right now, yeah, we're getting a little bit of a downward candle there. It is okay. Oh. Alright, we're about to do a $1,000 giveaway. If anyone's joining now, we're about to do a $1,000 giveaway. Alright? You guys ready for it? You guys ready for the giveaway? We're gonna do it, I promise. Yeah! We're about to do it. Yeah. Hey yo, $1,000 giveaway, about to do it. Jason Casper with the googly eyes acting stupid. Gotta go to the bathroom where I hoop it. Next thing you know, I'll keep you in the loop. And we trade in Bitcoin along the bottom and we short the top. Next thing you know, the price keeps going, never stops. Next thing you know, we're about to come and hit the spot because we're going to the bottom, then we loop it to the top. Yeah, coming down to support. Don't mess with me if you don't wanna get hurt. Jake Casper up in the house, he got the bars. Driving in his farm, he goes so far. When he gets into his car, fire off on all pistons. Bitcoin price, now listen, about to blast off. And then we start to piss in the bottle next to the desk. That's how we stay lifted, yeah. Coming outside to play the Bitcoin price, we only take the trades. Always so hungry, always eating from the trays. Don't you know I give it to you straight, I never give it to you, yay. AJ Casper, we're trading in the house. We're chilling over here for the Bitcoin bounce, yeah. And don't you know, about to give away $1,000. We will do it today. About 1,900 people up in the chat, 1,500 likes. What you think about that? How are my eyes? I don't think they're flat, cause they're sticking out my head. Hopefully they don't splat with the eyeball. Bitcoin price starts to fall. Next thing you know, we're coming down like a waterfall. Yeah, we don't take some, we take it all. Talking about the profits, we never short, we only tall. Yeah, and if you know what I mean, my trade's never in the red, my trades are only in the green. Cause they call me Jason Casper, I'm the trading machine. I never give it to you dirty, only give it to you clean. I got the purple shirt on, the Bitcoin price is looking like a phone. Talking about a female deer, don't you know the Bitcoin price is about to go, you know. If you look out below to win the $1,000, I'll give it to you on the show. With your address in the chat, people up in here, what you think about that? I promise you that after this rap, we about to do the giveaway, what about that? Hopefully we're so bumpy, not flat, cause we're coming to you never skinny, only acting fat. Yeah, we do it again. The Bitcoin hanging out with all her good friends. We're driving through the city in our new Mercedes Benz, hanging out with my good friends Glenn and Ben. Hey Ben, how do you do? Hey Jay, I'm pretty good, how about you? Hey Ben, I'm about to give away $1,000. Oh snap, if you're bullish baby, let me hear ya holla. Hey Jay, hey Glenn, how you doing today? Hey Ben, hey Glenn, just trying to get paid. I'm coming to the treadmill just to play. You know I'm looking at the charts just to take trades. Yeah, now the beat drops once more. Bitcoin price falling through the front door. Hopefully we come to the ceiling, to the floor. Then we take another trade cause we always want some more. You know we always stay hungry. The Bitcoin messing with me, it ain't funny. Like my friend, her name is Garanti. Grunty grunting with your friends like a monkey. Ooh, ooh, ah, ah. Okay, about to do a $1,000 giveaway, baby. Guys, spam the dang chat. We're going to count down from 10. And whoever is screenshotted wins $1,000. 10, 9, 8. I got butterflies. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, let's see who our winner is. And our winner is, congratulations to Morty Rick. Morty Rick. Congrats, Morty. Morty Rick. Congratulations, Morty Rick. Man, congrats. All right, Morty Rick. All right, shout out to Morty Rick. Just won $1,000. Shout out to my man Morty Rick. All right, about to send that over to you right now. Shout out to Morty Rick. Yeah, let's give it to you now, man. And shout out to y'all, honestly, for liking the dang video. Shout out to y'all for liking the dang video. Morty, I'm about to send it to you right now, man. Boom, baby. Shout out to Morty Rick. Just sent you 1,000 smackaronis, man. Congrats. Man, we gotta give a major shout out to Morty Rick. Alright. Cool. Shout out to my man Morty Rick. God bless you, man. Thank you so much for being here. And thank you guys all so much for being here. I appreciate each and every one of you. May the Lord bless you all in Jesus' name. Even if you're not religious, may God bless you all. And we will, Lord willing, be live tomorrow and all next week in order to watch this juicy price action together. So hope everyone has a great night. Hope everyone has a great week. May Jesus bless you all. May the Lord bless you and your families. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace.